Ever catch yourself thinking, if I could just think differently about money, I'd be a millionaire?
Right.
Turns out, that's kind of what this whole deep dive is about.
Yeah.
You mentioned being fascinated by investing and the American dream.
Yeah.
Well, we found an interview with someone who seems to have mastered both, at least from what we can tell.
We're talking about Mark Matson, who's the CEO of this firm that manages billions in assets.
Okay.
But he also wrote a book called Experiencing the American Dream.
Interesting.
And so it's like this fascinating combo because, he doesn't just talk numbers and spreadsheets.
Right.
He really gets into the psychology of wealth, like how our past experiences actually shape our relationship with money today.
I like that.
And his own background is nuts. Like, talk about a headspin.
Go ahead.
He grew up with a grandfather who thought money was evil, straight up.
Oh, wow.
And then his dad was all about the American dream, went for it, became super successful.
That's the, total opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, totally. And you can see how that would mess with your head a little, right?
For sure. So is that where this screens idea comes in?
Yeah.
Because I remember you mentioning that.
So it's like sometimes we have these past experiences, right? And they can really warp how we see money, even if we don't realize it.
Totally.
Like maybe you grew up thinking rich people were greedy, so now you unconsciously sabotage your own success because deep down, you don't want to be that person.
Whoa, that's deep.
Right. It's like these invisible scripts playing out in our lives.
So these screens are kind of like mental filters, distorting how we make financial decisions.
Exactly. And Mark tells this crazy story that, he saw how successful his dad became.
Yeah.
But because of his grandfather's influence, his first thought was, my dad must have done something shady to get all this.
Wow, that's messed up.
Right. Talk about a money script gone wrong.
Seriously. It's like those limiting beliefs we always hear about, but on a deeper level.
Totally. And Mark actually calls these money demons.
Money demons.
Yeah. It's catchy, right?
I like it.
They're those sneaky beliefs that pop up at the worst times to sabotage you.
Okay, I'm listening. What was his money demon?
His was, employees suck.
Oof. I bet a lot of people can relate to that one.
Right. And for him, it came from a couple bad experiences early on in his business.
Yeah, makes sense.
But it was holding him back from delegating, from growing his company,
I can see how that would be a problem.
Big time.
So how did he deal with it? Because honestly, employees suck is a pretty common one.
It's so common. And I struggle with investing is only for experts. You'll just mess it up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it keeps me in my comfort zone, even though I want to grow my wealth.
Yeah, I feel that. So how did Mark actually fight back against these demons?
He had this two-step process,
What's that?
and the first step is actually kind of counterintuitive. He said you have to identify the hidden benefits of clinging to that belief.
Wait, what? Benefits of holding on to a negative belief.
It sounds strange, but there's almost always some kind of payoff, even if it's a negative one.
So in Mark's case, by believing that employees suck,
Right.
it meant he got to stay in control, avoid the risk of trusting others with his business, even if it meant staying small.
Exactly.
So you're saying that just trying to ignore these money demons, it doesn't really work?
Nope. You've got to acknowledge that hidden payoff first. And then step 2 is actively searching for evidence that disproves the demon.
Okay, so it's like you're building a case.
Yeah.
Right? Like a good lawyer, you're gathering evidence for the other side.
Exactly. So Mark, he immersed himself in stories of companies that were crushing it, ones built on strong teams. He really forced himself to confront this idea that his belief wasn't universally true.
And what happened?
It was huge. That shift in perspective changed everything.
That's wild. Because it's not just about positive thinking, right?
Right.
It's about actively rewiring your beliefs with hard evidence.
That's it. And that's when his business really took off. It's amazing how often we hold ourselves back without realizing it.
Totally. And these demons, they don't just affect our careers.
All right. Oh, no.
They can show up in our relationships too.
100%.
Oh, tell me about it.
Like, have you ever been the one dating someone successful and you start to wonder,
Are they just with me for my money? Yeah, I've definitely had those moments.
Right, it gets messy. And that's actually something that Mark talks about even after he achieved financial success. He still wrestled with these demons.
Really?
They evolve,
So you conquer one, and then a sneakier one pops up.
It's like they level up with you or something.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. And Mark experienced this firsthand after his first marriage ended in divorce.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
He started to internalize this belief that he wasn't attractive or lovable, that women were only interested in him for his money.
Oh, man, that's rough. Especially when you think, like, you'd think those insecurities would fade away with financial success, right?
You'd think so, but that's the crazy thing about this whole cycle of wealth, as he calls it.
Cycle of wealth. What's that?
He uses this brilliant analogy about a boat.
Okay, I have to hear this boat analogy. Tell me more.
So imagine, right? You're on this brand new boat,
Okay.
super stoked, you're loving it.
Yeah.
And then this like massive yacht pulls up beside you.
Oh, I see where this is going.
And suddenly your awesome boat feels tiny and kind of pathetic.
Ugh. It's like that saying, comparison is the thief of joy.
Exactly. And that's what Mark realized. He had millions, but he'd fallen into this trap of always comparing himself.
Always wanting more, even when he had plenty.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's like that whole keeping up with the Joneses thing.
But on a way bigger scale. So how do you break free from that?
Well, he's all about aligning your financial goals with a larger purpose. Like you need that why behind the wealth.
They make sense, but how do you actually do that?
It's funny because he talks about how his second wife, Melissa, was huge in helping him with this.
Okay.
But get this, she had her own money demon to deal with.
Oh, really? What was it?
She believed that all rich dudes were jerks.
Oh, man. Recipe for disaster right there.
Right. But they made it work, and it started by actually talking about their money.
Not just budgets and stuff, but like deeper conversations.
Exactly. Like,
Right.
what's your individual purpose for this money? And for Mark, it was using his wealth to create more love in the world.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Right. And Melissa's thing was creating a stable, loving family.
So even though their backgrounds were totally different,
Yeah,
they found this common ground in their values.
totally. And that was so important because, they were blending their families too.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
And Mark talks about how those money conversations would get all mixed up with stuff about the kids.
Makes sense. It's all connected, right?
Absolutely. It's about building trust and security. Emotional, A&D, financial.
It makes you think about how much baggage we bring into relationships around money.
So much, right.
Did they share any specific examples, like from their own lives?
Yeah. Like this one that really stuck with me was how Melissa's ex-husband actually discouraged her from dating again
Seriously?
because she had 3 kids.
Oh, wow. That's just...
I know! Awful, right? He told her no one would ever want her with 3 kids.
Can you imagine the damage that does to someone?
On top of a divorce, even.
It just shows you how deeply money can get tied up in our deepest insecurities.
Totally. And that's why it's so important to, actually talk about this stuff.
Did they do anything else besides just talking, I mean?
They actually went to therapy together, which Mark says was a game changer.
Therapy, okay. That makes sense. Communication, aligned values, therapy. It's not like it could still go wrong, though.
Oh, for sure. And Mark tells this hilarious story about when they were looking to buy a new house
Okay.
because their old place had been broken into.
Scary. But you'd think, with all his money, buying a new house would be easy, right?
Right. But during the whole house hunting thing, he turned into, in his words, a real jerk.
No way. Mr. Money Mindset turning into a house hunting Grinch.
Totally. He was letting all his old insecurities about real estate get to him, even though it was irrational.
That's hilarious.
Right. And get this, he had this realization while prepping to teach a class on money demons.
You've got to be kidding me.
Nope.
That's amazing. It's like even someone who's supposed to have this all figured out
Yeah.
still has those moments.
It proves we're all a work in progress.
Okay, so we've covered the screens, the money demons.
Right.
But what about the actual investing?
Oh, yeah.
What's Mark's philosophy there?
He's all about the data.
Data-driven.
Oh, yeah. Scientific approach. Forget emotions. Forget trying to time the market.
Which makes sense, given his background. What does that look like in practice, though?
Well, instead of trying to find the next big thing,
Right.
he's all about understanding your risk tolerance. How much volatility can you actually handle?
That's smart.
And then building a globally diversified portfolio.
Diversification.
Yeah.
So not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Especially not one labeled meme stocks.
Definitely not. But what about those who say you need to be super wealthy for diversification to even matter?
Oh, Mark would say that's just another money myth. He thinks that even with, let's say, $10,000 to $100,000,
Okay.
you can start building a solid, diversified portfolio.
What does he recommend for that?
He loves index funds and structured funds.
So those funds that track like specific segments of the market
Yeah, you got it. Like you get a little slice of everything that way.
instead of betting on just one horse.
Exactly. But here's the thing. He's all about data, But he's also a huge proponent of having a trusted advisor.
Really? So it's not just about crunching numbers on your own.
Right. He compares it to someone with zero flying experience trying to land a plane.
Okay, so maybe I shouldn't quit my day job to become a day trader just yet.
Probably not. But he's saying, even if you understand the basics, emotions can get in the way, right? Especially when the market's going crazy.
Totally.
That's where having a coach to help you stay disciplined, to make those rational decisions, even when you're freaking out, that's invaluable.
It's like having a personal trainer, but for your money mindset. Someone to keep you on track, financially and emotionally.
Yeah.
It's like you can have the best map in the world,
Right.
but if you don't know how to navigate,
Exactly.
you're still going to get lost. It's like you need that co-pilot
Really.
to help you navigate the ups and downs.
And that's something that Mark emphasizes so much. The human element of it.
Yeah.
Like, he's put millions of dollars into developing this sophisticated software to analyze portfolios, identify risks, all that.
Right.
But he's still like, nothing replaces that human element, that advisor who can guide you.
There's something comforting about that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
investing, it's not just algorithms and spreadsheets.
Right.
It's about making decisions that actually align with your values.
Your goals.
Yeah, your goals, your definition of a good life. It's personal.
I like how he compared it to being a pilot, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you think about it,
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing.
Right.
You can have the best equipment, all the fancy gadgets and gizmos.
Right.
But when things get turbulent, you want a skilled pilot,
For sure.
someone who can navigate those challenges and make good decisions, even under pressure.
Yes. And that's where understanding your own screens,
Right?
those money demons,
Yeah.
becomes so crucial.
Because it's not just about, oh, should I pick this stock or this bond?
But it's bigger than that.
It's like, do I even understand myself well enough
Yes.
to make decisions that are good for me in the long run?
Exactly. And he encourages people to find advisors who actually want to have those deeper conversations.
Yeah.
Not just, here's your portfolio performance, but like, what are your life goals?
What's your version of the American dream?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's not one size fits all.
Not at all. In fact, he actually challenges that whole like traditional fee structure
Yes.
of the financial advising industry.
It's huge.
Right.
Yeah. Because it always seems strange to me that, like, to get paid whether I'm making money or not.
It's like, shouldn't your success be tied to my success?
100%. He actually really likes that coaching model.
My coaching model.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Where you're paying for guidance and support, not just transactions.
Okay.
It's a partnership.
So it's more like a partnership
Yeah.
based on shared values, long-term success, working together.
100%. And actually, speaking of long-term success,
Yeah.
he talks about his own definition of greatness toward the end of the interview, and it's pretty simple.
What is it?
He says it's leaving the world a better place than you found it.
Wow. That's profound, but also kind of achievable.
Right. It's not this big unattainable thing.
And what I think is so cool about his story is he's living proof
Yeah.
that you can be successful financially
Yeah.
and still make a difference.
Totally. He's managed billions, built a business, but he also prioritizes family, personal growth, giving back.
It's like that sweet spot
Yes.
between purpose and profit.
100%. So for anyone listening who's feeling a little overwhelmed by the whole investing thing, or
Yeah.
like, is the American dream even real anymore?
Right.
His story is a good reminder that it's not just about the bank account.
It's about, like we were saying, aligning your money with your values, with your goals.
Totally. Investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Finding those people to help you on the way.
And maybe, just maybe, you end up exceeding even your own expectations
Totally.
for your life, for your finances, for everything. So as you continue to explore this whole world of investing and personal finance,
Right.
remember his advice. Understand your screens. Conquer those demons.
Find those guides.
Find those people that will help you navigate and make good decisions for you.
And figure out what your American dream is, because it's different for everybody.
It's not just about the money.
It's about the bigger picture.
It's about what matters to you
Yes.
and building a life that reflects that.